to me so I can make you mine. Come to me so I can make you mine. Look at what God did. He answered our prayers for true love. Come to me so I can make you mine. Come to me so I can make you mine. Look at what God did. Iman. Look at what God did. Iman. Look at what God did. Iman.
Hi everybody, my name is Iman Alford.
And I'm Stephon Alford.
And we're back with another video, and it is a marriage Q&A.
Ah, snap. So marriage Q&A. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I have a list of questions.
All right.
And we're going to answer them.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question is, what has changed since we got married?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
The first thing that has changed is our weight gain. Happy weight is a real thing.
It's so real.
And it's been stressing me out.
I had to hide the scale from her.
This man
and from me. It's for both of us.
I woke up one morning. Okay, so we have been checking our weight like every day.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Every day since December, because we have gained a total of 15 pounds. And so I've been stressed out because I can't fit any of my clothes.
But you fit in them well.
Yeah, he loves this new
like
weight that I have.
I do.
I like it, but I don't know. When something has changed, it's not what you're used to.
Yeah.
It takes a minute to adjust to it.
It's the new Iman.
Oh!
And Stephon welcomes it.
Oh my God. Well, I'm happy you love it, so.
Yes.
That's the first thing. That's my answer.
That's your answer.
Yes. There's many more things, but that's one that's always come to my mind first when people ask, like, what has changed?
Yeah.
Happy weight is a real thing.
For me, what has changed is, I don't know what it is, but I tend to go to sleep a lot earlier. I don't know why, but I just like my sleep, y'all.
I don't know what's happening to him, because when we were recording, you would stay up late to talk to me.
Yes, that is
so like
true.
Midnight, 11 o'clock, now he's going to sleep around, around 8.
8:30, 9. Around 8:30 is like when I start getting real sleepy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you moving to Chicago was a big change for you. For me, I think just being more intentional about making you a part of my world. You know, from church to real estate to business to day to day. You know, if there's some things that you like, you know, I try to incorporate that into my day. You know, such as like cooking you breakfast. Like I'm trying to turn myself into a little chef.
He's doing great.
You know,
You're doing great.
I'm trying to whip it up. So it takes pressure off of you, because when we have kids, you know, I see it as more of a shared responsibility.
Okay.
You know, I just don't see you.
Y'all heard it first.
You in the kitchen. You know?
A shared responsibility.
Yeah, shared responsibility. But you got the mantle. Your mom, she brings it. She brings it. So you already got the mantle. But yeah, just incorporating you more into my world. Like that's different, because I've lived a single life, you know, for 36 years. Now I'm 37 years old. I've gotten married at 37 or 36. You know, turned 37. So it's a little different.
Okay.
What about you? What has changed? My love.
Like you said, me moving to Chicago changed, a location change. I think also just the way I would go about my mornings, like my personal habits that I had when I was single.
Yeah.
Like I catered a lot to myself. Like I am a big self-care person. And my family warned him about my self-care.
They did.
And so, you know, just trying to make time for my self-care and still take care of you.
Right.
And then just, I don't know, it's just different. Like my routines, like my morning routines are different now.
Are my needs easy to manage?
Yes, your needs are very easy to manage.
Okay, y'all
But
heard,
now
y'all
I
heard
just,
that first.
but I'm always having to consider you instead
Yeah.
of like doing what I would usually do.
Yeah.
Like,
That is an adjustment. I mean, a lot of people try to imagine what is it like going from single to actually being in a married household. You know, you get to, everything gets closer. You know, so when your worlds merge, everything merges. You know, from you waking up. If the one person has to use your restroom, then I have to wait. You know, or vice versa. You know, if you're in there, you know, it's just the little things like that.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like you keep the toilet seat up.
Yeah, like the toilet seat.
And then you talk about my hair on the sink.
The hair on the sink. You know, so you have to keep a broom near the restroom.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Church. I lived in New York. And
It's a big change for you.
this is a big change. Okay. Y'all know I love the Lord. But my husband, my in-laws are pastors. Yes, so I'm married into the first family of the church. And so in my single season, I'll always watch church online, just to keep it real. I would go to church physically when I would be home in Memphis because I could not find a church home that I loved in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so now I'm always at church, which is an amazing thing because that's what I prayed for. But that is different for me.
Yeah.
It's like we have this routine. We go to church Sundays, we go Wednesdays. And that's just different. That's something different for me.
Yeah.
Because I will go to church, like I said, only when I was in Memphis. You feel far away.
I feel far away.
Yes.
Want me closer to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, back to these questions. Yeah.
Okay. What else, babe?
You know, I guess when two married people who are purpose partners come together, that shifts too. Because now it's becoming more real that this is, you know, turned into something bigger than us.
Yes.
You know, so we always desire to, you know, collab and be purpose partners. But actually having to do the work and us strategizing, brainstorming, like just throughout the day.
Yes.
You know, trying to incorporate dreams and align purpose and mutual goals. That's a big thing to me as well. And we talked about this during our courting phase, even though it was brief, but we talked about like us being purpose partners. So it's unraveling out on a day-to-day what that looks like. You know, especially with our new channel. You know, we got some other plans that's coming up that we will eventually share with you. But it's actually just making those dreams unfold together.
Yeah.
So it takes more than just two hands when you're married, you know, to make that happen. You know, it's four, and it's two minds working together. But it's a beautiful thing because it's something that's very unique that we both can create together.
Yeah. So, yeah, just talk about that. Now we have stepped into a partnership. And sometimes it feels like a business. I used to hear people say marriage is a business. And I'm like, how is marriage a business? But we really run things like a business.
Yeah.
Like we are up, like last night, we were up to almost midnight, just strategizing and planning for our month. And like we have so much going on, traveling, work, life, just different events. We have to come together and make sure everything is flowing and organized and just balancing everything. That this is something I never had to do as a single.
But you brought out a good point because you mentioned like traveling and certain events. Like her events become my events. events.
Yeah,
You know,
and vice versa.
Like
Yes.
my events become her events. And so we've created as a solution with a shared calendar.
Yes.
So whenever we have like things that we have to do, I try to make a intentional effort to put it on our calendar. That way, if we have a direct conversation about it, or if not, she can look at the calendar and see, you know, what I have, you know, assigned for the day. And also, you'll know exactly where I am because we track each other's locations. So that's another thing.
I'm always looking.
She trusts me out.
Yeah, I do. I just like to know. I still track my family. I track my parents, my sister. I need to know what everybody got going on. Okay. So that's pretty much what you notice has changed.
Yeah.
So our calendars, like you said, your world becomes my world,
Right.
and vice versa.
Yeah. It's an interesting balance.
It is, and we're still figuring it out.
We are. We are.
Okay, what have we learned about each other in our marriage? I've learned that you are the most selfless human being I ever met.
Oh, babe.
And I also learned that you...
Oh, what you about to say? Oh,
I was going to be shady.
you about to be shady?
I was going to say...
You didn't open up my heart. Now you gonna put the dagger in it. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was talking about your sleeping pattern. Okay, so I've learned that my husband snores. I've learned that you are a snorer. You like to go to sleep early, like you will fall asleep just like that.
This is how I got so tall, you know, because I love my sleep.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. I've learned that you are very intentional. I've always known that, but I've learned that you're an intentional husband. Like, this is just who you are as far as your character. Like, I knew that you were intentional pursuing me, courting me, our whole entire relationship, but you are intentional as a husband.
I try to be.
You really are.
I really do.
And you're consistent. You're consistent in who you are. Like, nothing has changed as far as your personality. Like, the man that I met back in May is still the man today. And I love it about you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I try to be who I am. You know,
are.
the man you married is the same. But I appreciate that, baby.
Because in my past relationships, about 3 to 6 months, you get to see a different side of someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the real you will start to come forth.
Yeah.
And so I never was skeptical about that because I knew that the Lord brought us together. But just every day I get to wake up to the man that I fell in love with is just a blessing. Where are you at?
All right. So we're gonna pause for
Dog.
a brief intermission. Okay. All right.
I'm serious, babe. I'm serious.
That is so sweet. Like, the feeling's mutual. You know, knowing that I have a wife who truly cares for me. Like, she gives me a lot of words of affirmation. I didn't know that I enjoyed it as much, but I really love the fact that she calls me husband. You guys saw that in the last birthday video. Like,
I'm my husband.
She loves, and I love you too. Like, you're my wife. You know, so to be able to say that, but you are a wife. That's why I can say it. So you wake up every day.
No, you did it.
And yes, it's your turn. You wake up every day, and now it's like you're almost getting me up for prayer. I remember when, you know, we would take turns like during our courting, and I was mostly the early riser. I'll try to get up before, you know, but it's like she desires like everything about our life to work. So she puts in that extra effort. Like, you really do. Like, you make sure I'm good. You know, have you eaten? You know, like, have you contacted so and so? You know, just things like that. Like, it just shows like how in tune you are mentally. You know, So when your mind is that intentional about it, like, I just want to, that mind, like, I can't say what I want to say, but you bring out the husband in me even more. So you make it easy. And my family loves you. The way that we can call each other as like parents, and it feels like our own parents, like that's special.
That is special, yeah.
You sacrificing to go to church, to go different places with me, that is special also.
Well, church isn't a sacrifice, so make that clear.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want that to be clear.
Yeah.
I love Jesus.
Well, I know she loves you, but it is different.
It's different.
From your pattern.
Yeah.
So you have to put a little bit more effort, which requires a little bit more. So I know you love the Lord, babe. You show it every day.
Yeah. I really
So, but yeah, no, I do appreciate that about you.
Thank you, baby. Any negative things or any things that was shock? Not negative, but shocked you.
Things
you
that
learned
shocked
about
me. Well, we talked about the toilet seat. I guess little things like hair being on the floor. We talked about that. So I've just adopted a mentality that if it bothers me as far as things like that, then I should just clean it up. Like if the tissue is not turned the right way,
I don't know that was a thing.
Like just flip the tissue. These are like practical things that are not talked about that does come across your mind. Like, okay, all right, let me just do this.
Yeah, because I've never seen a toilet seat up every day until we got married. I'm like, why he just don't put it down? But
yeah.
And I just put it down and I don't complain about it.
Right. It does make you think that though. Like if we could be transparent. It's like, okay, why won't she do this? Like, but then it's like, is it really that big of a deal?
Yeah.
So we've learned that if it bothers us, then we do have conversation. And that probably leads to another question.
The next question. How do we handle disagreements?
Yeah.
We get this question all the time.
We do.
Because people want to know if we ever argued or...
Right.
So what would you say to that?
Yeah.
Because the answer is
Have
no.
we ever argued? No. We've never argued. Have we had disagreements? Yes.
I think every day.
Yes. Yeah, I mean...
We pretty much... Because it's two different mindsets.
Yeah. A disagreement is when you don't agree on the same thing. Like you don't have the same thought about a specific topic. So, of course, disagreements do come up. I think it's so alarming to people when they say, oh, this person had a disagreement, and it brings a sense of fear that a relationship won't work. But that is totally the opposite. Like you pick this person so you can understand them in full.
Yeah.
And that disagreement, it should make you curious enough to want to learn more about why they disagree. So what we do is we talk it out.
Yeah.
We try to see, okay, why do you feel this way?
Our first disagreement was actually this YouTube channel. Y'all thank God for Steph. Because I was not willing to share our marriage so soon. Especially on the YouTube for people we do not know.
Right.
And I feel like we just got married. And he came to me. He just felt in his spirit that the Lord called us to YouTube. Because we knew that we would get here, but I thought we needed more time. I thought we needed to protect our marriage, cover our marriage a little more. And my husband, he started our YouTube channel on our wedding day. I had no say-so in this. Because it was up to me, it would have been a year from now.
Yeah. I just felt, such an urgency to release, especially the proposal song. I knew that what God had done in our engagement the night before, it was something very special. And I woke up super early. It was on our wedding day. I'm like, okay, God, what am I sensing? What am I feeling? And we had been getting confirmations from our certain peers that we should start a channel. And the Lord really compelled me to do it. So I just, posted the song on there. As you'll see, is the first song. Eventually, we'll get it on all the outlets for you to download. But it was just an amazing night. And not only that, our journey of coming together was a miracle. And I just felt so deep that our generation needs to see exactly what it looks like to court properly. You know, I think that's a lost, pursuit in our generation. And I think that people really need to understand that, you know, when you court God's way, because it turns into miracles. And I just felt such a compelling. So it was, of course, nothing to discredit you or your decision making and nothing like that. But, you know, I felt the urgency and it just drew us to this point.
I mean, the fruit of you following the Holy Spirit has been very impactful. So I'm thankful that you did do that. But what I also appreciate about our first disagreement was that you heard from the Lord. The Lord had to reveal it to me and deal with me. And my husband, he was never like, no, we doing this, whatever. We need to make our first video. You just backed off and you just allowed the Holy Spirit to deal with me and you just prayed for me. And that changed the game. So when you were patient with me and you prayed for me, it allowed me to see you in a different light because I learned that you were patient. And it made me just have more respect for you and more honor for you because you didn't try to force me to do anything that I didn't want to do. You just allowed the Holy Spirit to move.
Yeah.
And that changed the game for our relationship. And it changed the game for how I think we handle disagreements. Like it set a tone that we're always going to share what's in our hearts,
right,
but we're not going to force each other to do anything.
Right.
And that we're just going to allow God to move on that person's heart.
Yeah.
Like on each other's heart.
Yeah, that's very good. I mean, it's definitely a critical role as a man. And we have to be mindful as men not to abuse our privilege. You know, and as leaders of our household, it's very key that we don't abuse that. You still have to consider your wife.
It could have gone a whole different way.
It really could have.
If you would, if I would have been like, nah, I mean, I did. I said, I'm not ready. Like, I feel like this is just too soon.
Yeah. That's how
and you said, okay.
I'm gonna go to God on this one.
And he, you know, you were telling me what you felt in your spirit, but I just was not there. And you just let it go.
Yeah.
And that's why I just can't thank you enough for just being so humble and just not prideful about who you are as the head.
Yeah, no.
Like you're just so loving and you're patient.
Yeah.
Like you're kind. Like you just lead well. You lead us well.
Oh, thank you, baby.
You did a great job.
What else we got, sweetheart?
Okay. So do we answer the question? How do we handle disagreements? We handle it very respectfully and just making sure we hear each other out and always seeking to be on one accord.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Okay. Do we want kids?
Yes! Mrs. Alford.
I say all the time, I can't wait to have all your babies.
Oh,
but when I say all...
yes. that's what I told her while we were recording.
When I say all your babies, I mean all two. I want to have 2 kids. But
I'm down for that. You know, we talked about this. I'm down for 2. But I prayed that it would be a boy and a girl.
Me too.
You do too? See,
y'all stay in agreement with us.
Come on,
We have
let's
this
lock
boy.
in. Let's lock in. Touch and agree on this for the 2 kids. We're not gonna give out the names.
Okay. 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 Advice to singles who are preparing for marriage. That would be my advice. Sacrifice.
So one of the things I talked about, and you can see this on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, I really believe that if you're single, you should know who you are. So when you go through those identity checks, you got to make sure that you know exactly who you are, because in marriage, you can find yourself adopting to what the other partner desires. And that could be throughout the day. You know,
That's true.
and so just be careful. You know, if you have dreams and desires that you personally want to accomplish, like make that happen. You know, be okay with getting to that point first before you get to marriage. You know, because you know in marriage, you know, you don't want to go through a whole nother journey where you, as a man, you're trying to lead and you just don't have a place for the woman to follow. You know, it's just, it's tough that way.
That is true.
You know,
So mine would be wholeness. Like get whole and get healed and work out your traumas, your triggers, like identify those things that trigger you
yeah,
and any brokenness that you may have. I think it's important to do like that soul work
yeah,
and like pray a lot.
Right.
Because you have to have a relationship with God, to have a Christ-centered relationship, to have the kind of marriage that you desire,
right,
and just go through a healing process. Because I think sometimes you can bring your brokenness into a relationship, period,
You can.
and then the other person has to suffer from it. So, and I think that's another reason why you should seek the Lord,
right,
and ask God to heal you from anything that you have not healed from, so that you don't destroy the other person. Because you can.
You can.
Yeah.
And you can almost like make the other person pay for not being whole,
You can sabotage the whole relationship.
and that's something. Yeah, those are two key things. So knowing your identity and also being whole. You know, that's very crucial. Just making sure that your foundation is solid.
Yeah.
You know,
Work on yourself.
work on yourself first, and that
So
is
you can
that
be
is how
who
it
you
does.
want to be for that other person.
Yeah, exactly. We hope that you enjoyed this video, this Q&A of us, how's married life. We hope that you got something from it and that it inspires you to want to get on this level of marriage. You know,
Yeah.
marriage is so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
This is really a gift.
Yeah, you just treat it with love, respect, and care.
Yes.
You know, treat it like you know that God has given you something special,
Yes.
and that you want to just take care of it, love it, nurture it.
Right.
I think that's what makes a difference.
Yeah.
So there's no perfect marriage. We definitely have disagreements like everyone else.
Right.
Like I said, we disagree every day. We'll definitely do things differently than the other person. But our respect and our love and our admiration for each other has not changed.
And as always, we just pray that you guys remain encouraged.
Yes.
And just remember, if God remembered us, He'll remember you.